This has been talked about a lot on Twitter. XRP will replace Swift. XRP to 10,000, right? Would XRP be 10K if Ripple and XRP took over Swift? We're going to talk about this, the numbers, and the facts that support them. There are a few other things that I need to take care of as well. Actually, this post was great because it covered a lot of the things I wanted to talk about today, such as XRP and trust that is already set up. For banks, the US Reserve will be worth a huge amount. We need to really talk about a few of these things. Okay, let me start by talking off. Let me knock it out. The US Reserve will be worth a huge amount on its own. First, President Trump didn't know that the US didn't have any XRP, Solana, or ADA when he tweeted that they would be added to the strategic reserve. I saw that the FBI did a raid in Pennsylvania. They took away what I think was $300 worth of XRP. Certainly not a hugely impressive amount of money. At this point, the only ways for the US to get XRP are to take it from a criminal, have Ripple give it to the US government as a gift, or get Congress involved so they can get public money. They are working on ways to save money so that they can buy more Bitcoin, but that's all I know. Don't buy XRP at that price. So tell people that the value of the dollar will drop only in the US, based on the information we have right now. This is not true. One more thing. This person said that banks and trust at XRP are already taken. This has been used many times. This makes me wonder why Ripple locks up XRP again if the XRP and the trust has already been taken and the account has already been set up. After seeing what happens with Ripple, you know that the account opens every month, right? Most of the time, 1 billion XRP is open, right? Ripple will decide what to do with that XRP once it is opened. If someone had already agreed to pay for the XRP, Ripple would just send it to that person's bank, right? Those who own that XRP, it wouldn't make sense for a bank to own that XRP, but Ripple said, hey, what do you know? This XRP will be locked up again for 3.5 years. Good luck, right? That's right, 37 billion XRP is locked up, and every month, 1 billion gets released. You will have to wait another 37 months before you can use that XRP that you just relocked. That's why I disagree with this. I don't agree with this at all, but I'll let you decide for yourself. He is right that the price of XRP is very high. If Ripple and XRP did take over, Swift's traffic would go down. The question now is how much is it per day? Okay, because of the speed of money, we can only guess, and you know it does change from daily to yearly. Okay, let me show you this now. So these numbers show that if Ripple were to handle $5 trillion a month in 58 billion circulating supply, each XRP would be worth $8,621. This is because you can reuse XRP very quickly, but when you look at the yearly scenarios, each coin would be worth a huge $21,551. Is this right? The question is why you would give me 86 and then 21,000 for the yearly situation. This has some notes on it. Some theoretical models are too simple and assume that all Swift transactions are quickly turned into XRP demand. Money doesn't move quickly, so each XRP is only used once per transaction. There is also no market speculation or government interference. As I said, I want to look at the yearly case again. What do you mean by price of XRP? If Ripple XRP had to handle $1.25 quadrillion in payments every year, because I did question this, and the same number came back up. Know that these AI models are collecting data from all over the web, so you'd have to look at the exact sources to see where all of this came from and when it was put together. Here is some of the data that it used, and I also wanted to run the same numbers. I asked GPT through a chat to see what it came up with, and I used the exact same terms and sentences. It does say that the value is between $1,200 and $1,500 trillion a year, which is between 1.2 and 1.5 quadrillion. And this is the daily, which came up with a very similar number, $86. When you go to the monthly though, it has more value because it has more. If you want to know if Ripple will take over Swift, the price is now $34,000. That's a tough one for me to swallow. I mean, I think Ripple could help speed things up with payments like foreign exchange and others. Don't forget that not all transactions will need XRP, so a big chunk of this could be funds made within the country, right? That maybe a coin that doesn't change value would work better for this. I don't think that Ripple or XRP will get all of Switzerland's value. There's going to be something like HBR, Algorand. I think it could really help. I believe that XLM and other cryptocurrencies will also be able to move through the SWIFT system. I don't think there will be just one winner, but I did want to show you how the math would work if they did win everything. I don't think any one crypto company will get everything though. Paid items are one thing though, right? I really believe that XRP is a great way to make payments across borders and will help make the world a better place. It will lower the costs of payments. It's faster and safer, but will also soon have tokenized assets and tokenized value on the blockchain. This is where some of the most important things can happen. Here, let me show you, of whether we care about assets in Web3 style or not, will only get worse. That won't be because of politics. It will be because of money. When there were enough US treasuries kept in the Web3 format, like a stablecoin, stablecoins became a very hot topic here in Washington, D.C. This Web3 smart contract stablecoin container was set up with a big enough number of treasuries. That will only get worse. US treasuries are worth about the same amount as Saudi Arabia and South Korea right now, or maybe even more. Just quickly take a look at this. China mainland, which is the second biggest buyer of US government, is selling it. Because of this, US Treasurer Scott Bessent and Trump are talking about how safe coins and cryptocurrency can save the bond market. This is because some countries are watching what the US is doing and don't like how much debt the US has. Some of these countries are selling those government bonds instead of buying them. In other words, they are going to a net loss. It's important to find a new buyer for all those bonds that are being sold, because if some of the biggest buyers of bonds in the world decide to sell instead of buy, it could bring down the US banking system. That is a situation of national security of some kind. Okay, if you think about it, the US government bond market is worth $28.6 trillion right now. If we woke up one day and that whole $28.6 trillion had been moved to 2 or 3 different blockchains, the value of each token on any of those blockchains would be huge. That would stop working. If someone held 500, 1,000 or 5,000 of those tokens, they would retire, because if you could add $10 trillion or $5 trillion to any blockchain using the multiplier effect, that could be 50x, 100x, or any other value. For example, if you added $1 trillion and it had a 50x multiplier instead of 1 trillion, the market cap would look like $50 trillion. If you had a 100x multiplier, the market cap would look like $100 trillion. And if you added $5 trillion of real value and it had a 50x multiplier, you would be at a $250 trillion market cap, which would send XRP well into the 4-digit range. Okay, let me finish. But it's only getting worse. In the long run, I think stablecoins can be the biggest owner of US treasuries, because they are the most popular way to own and use the US dollar. But that is something that will become clear for all other things as well. Wow, that's a lot of really cool stuff. I'm glad I could show you how to make silent income with Moonis. I wanted to talk to you about a very special project that will help you make money every day by giving Moonis cash. Join Moonis today for as little as $100 and start earning money right away, no matter what the market does. We support liquidity on all major blockchains and in the most common currencies that people are always trying to figure out. Hey, I'm going to keep this coin for a while. What are the best ways for me to make money with my coin right now? You can do that right now by giving people